Hey y'all. So, okay, this is gonna be really hard for me. This is part 6 of I Married a Sicko Twice. Okay, so I left off that I had my daughter, and his 4 years were up, and he was honorably discharged from the Navy, so we were moving back home to Birmingham. And my mindset was, as soon as I get home, I'm divorcing him because I just can't take no more. I've taken all I can take, and I can't wait to get back to Birmingham so that I can be around people I know that love me, be with my family, because in Virginia I had nobody but him. And y'all heard how that went. So we drove back to Birmingham, and that's like a 12 to 14 hour drive, depending on when you stop and all of that stuff. So my auntie and uncle had bought a home, and they let us live with them until we found permanent housing. You know, the military will pack up everything for you, ship everything, store it, and all of that. And whenever you find a place, you just call them and they'll deliver your stuff, which they did. But anyway, I would work. We lived with my auntie and uncle for about 2 or 3 months. I'm not exactly sure, but I used to work temp jobs, and then I worked temporary at this company for like 2 months, and they hired me full time, and I stayed there for 5 years. Like I said, I've always landed good jobs, and we would get paid every week, and it was a great company. I loved working there. So anyway, I'm moving ahead. So we while living with my aunt and uncle, I began to see how really a sicko he was, because we never lived together before. So moving to Virginia was the first time for real that we lived together for a long period of time. Like I said, he was in the military, and I had my own place in Birmingham, but he would just come home like on leave and visit. We never really stayed together a long time. The longest we probably stayed together when we first got married maybe was a month. So anyway, I'm while we living with my auntie and uncle, I didn't want to be intimate with him at all, simply because I was traumatized from having an 8 pound, 4 ounce, 22-inch long baby naturally with no painkiller or anything. And to this day, I can't watch a live childbirth because it brings back the pain. It feels like yesterday. I don't know if anybody ever experienced having a child naturally, and I don't know how women did it back in the day. The slaves in the field, I don't know how they did it, but they did it. And they get all of the praise for being outstandingly strong. But I mean, I can't think of a astonishingly strong. I can't think of the magnitude of how much strength a woman has to have a child. Anyway, let me get back to living with my auntie and uncle. So he wanted to be intimate and I didn't want to. I would come up with every excuse in the book, but I'm pretty sure that he was finding some teenage child. And I hate to say teenage child, but I'll get to that. He does like teenagers, and I have proved, and I just do. So anyway, we lived with my auntie and uncle, and I didn't want to be intimate with him. So he would accuse me of sleeping with everybody. He been doing that, but he even accused me of sleeping with my uncle. And I had no idea how jealous he was. I mean, he would say stuff, but like I said, I ignored it because I just couldn't believe that somebody was that crazy, you know. And I don't even like to use the word crazy, but like I said, the amount of jealousy that he has when I was with him, he was jealous of songs on the radio. If I said somebody was handsome, he would notice men that I never noticed. Like, he'll say, I saw you looking at that man. And I'm like, what man? I said, you noticed. Like I said, I never just taken stuff. I used to fight back. And my words were, I don't ever want to disrespect anybody the way that I disrespected him. And I don't want anybody to disrespect me the way that he disrespected me. In front of anybody, and in front of our children the most. So anyway, he accused me of sleeping with my uncle. He would borrow my uncle's clothes and wouldn't ask him, would just, I suggested that, like he said he had an interview or something like that. I said, ask my uncle, can you borrow one of his outfits? Because my auntie made sure that he had nice apparel, you know, nice clothing. And I would say, ask him, can you borrow something because you have an interview? So he never asked. Anyway, my auntie said she saw him in a different light because my uncle worked overnight, and so she would have to take out the trash and all of that stuff. So she said that she saw him watching her struggle with bringing in the trash cans and all of that stuff, and he didn't even offer to help or try to help her pick up, you know, bring in the cans from out of the road. And she said she can't believe that he just watched her do that and didn't offer to help. And so I was like, welcome to my world. But I just made up an excuse because that's what I did. I was always making up excuses for him and why he did certain things and why he acted the way he acted and all of that stuff. So we moved out of my auntie's house, auntie and uncle's house, because it's not just her house, and we got our own place. And this is when I knew for sure, oh, there is no way I'm gonna stay married to him, because this, oh, let me tell y'all about this one. Well, like I said, this is gonna be a hard one right here, but I'm gonna get through it. So anyway, we got our own place, and he loved to go to the neighborhood gym to play basketball. I guess he had hoop dreams, and I'm not trying to be funny, but he was like on their high school team, and it's like even when I was pregnant with our son, he wasn't there because he wanted to go to the gym and play basketball. So even though I'm at a point right now where I'm living with my youngest son, I've always been a saver, but I haven't been able to because life has just been really lifing for me. So I'm diminished to living with my son in his 1-bedroom apartment. But I thank God that I have shelter. So y'all won't hear me complain about that at all. But anyway, I used to save money, and I used to keep it like in a little can. And he would steal money from me out of my little can, like to go anywhere, and because his car was down, and he had claimed to have a job somewhere, and he actually did get the job, but he lost it because he wanted to go play basketball and want to be late and always doing stuff. And I found out that he lost his job because I called him one night because he was supposed to work overnight or from midnight to something. I can't remember. It was years ago. But I called up there and they said that he hadn't been there in like almost a month. And I was like, wow, I'm working hard. I secured the job that I was at, and he would be gone like he was working. So something told me, pay more attention to him. This is before his car broke down, and we had a joint account. So I never called in. That's how I was hired so fast from attempt to permanent at the place that I worked, because I never called in sick. I was there every day. I was on time because I knew I had to take care of me and my kids because I couldn't depend on him. So anyway, I paid attention to him. It was like for a whole week he would beat me to get the mail out the mailbox and all of that stuff. So, and then I constantly got phone calls from other women saying, he would say I'm his sister. He would say, if a lady answers the phone, that's my cousin, that's somebody. And I don't even know of any cousins that he has. But anyway, he used to beat me to the mailbox, just try to hurry up. And I was like, everything is in my name. The power bill, everything was in my name. So what he needs some mail for so bad? So I don't know where he would go in the morning, but this day I called in and said that my daughter was sick. And I hated to do that, but I just had to find out. I had to be there when the mail came, because he used to like almost push me out the way to get to the mailbox because he was expecting something. And guess what he got? It was a welfare check from a girl for $500, and she signed her name on the back of it, and it says pay to the order of the SICKO. And I was like, who does this? Who would be that, for lack of a better word, dumb, to send a man her welfare check? this girl from Bessemer, Alabama. So we had a joint bank account. So what I did was sign it. It says pay to the order of the SICKO, and I said Carrie Howard because we had a joint account. I took it, I cashed it, and I went shopping. I bought groceries, I bought some outfits for the kids and for me, and whatever else I could think of. And I think I even pocketed it, because back then in the 90s, 500 was a good little chunk of change. Shoot, I wish I had $500 today. But anyway, I took it and I cashed it. And then she had the nerve to call the house to make sure that he got it. And I was like, I answered the phone, of course, and she was asking to speak to the SICKO. And I said, he's not home. Who's calling? She told me her name. And she said, oh, this must be his sister. I said, no, this is his wife. And she was like, what? I mean, you could hear the heartbreak in her voice. And she went on to tell me about her life. She told me she had 5 kids, and I don't know how many fathers of her kids that she had, but she was talking about how in love they were and how he said he needed to get his car fixed. That's why he couldn't come to see her. And he would take his friends around her, and one friend, and who had the nerve to tell me when I asked his friend about it, said, you go over there with him to, and you know I'm his wife, and you go with him to this other woman's house. And I was so insecure. He made me feel so insecure. Not his friend, but the SICKO did. Because I was like, he want to be with somebody that dumb, and somebody with all those kids, and somebody who is just gullible. And here I am, a hard worker, the mother of his kids, the provider, the handle everything person, and that's who he want to cheat with. So anyway, she told me all about her life, and she was like trying to befriend me. And she even told me that she had pictures of my kids. I used to let my kids get pictures together and all of that stuff. And I told her, I said, I don't know you, so will you send me my pictures back of my kids, because I don't know you and I didn't give you those pictures. So she mailed them back. She asked me, he told her all kind of lies, that I sleep with anybody, I love to go to the club and pick up different men, and you know, the usual, that, you know. And I never understood a woman that listens to a man and believes what he says and just fall for it. He has this way of making you feel sympathy for him. That's how I feel for it every time, because I really felt sorry for him, because I feel like he was really crazy, and he would be so convincing about how sorry he was. I mean, he could cry, oh, I want my family back, I promise you I'd never do it again, and all of this stuff. And so we would have not really, we did get physical sometimes, but it was mostly me, because I'd be so angry. And plus, y'all remember, I told y'all I grew up seeing my dad fight my mom. So I would lash out at him first. So I did. I would pick up anything in my sight and just hit him because I was so angry. I even bit him one time in his chest because he's an antagonizer. When I tell y'all that I would pray before I went in the house saying, Lord, please don't let him be at home. Lord, please let him be gone when I get home. Just anything, just to avoid confrontation with him because he wouldn't let you ignore him. I would try to ignore him. I wouldn't talk to him, but he would like just call your name over and over again, Care, and flick the lights on and off, turn the TV up real loud, just do things that just annoy you just to get your attention. And I just was so done with him that I know that I was wrong. And do I regret it? I regret doing that with my kids around. But I don't regret. I feel like he deserved it. And I know I got to be healed from that. So anyway, the girl would ask me where I got my hair done because she heard that I kept my hair done and my nails done and all of this stuff. And I did, but it wasn't, I don't understand the mentality of a woman that's trying to befriend the spouse of a man that she was sleeping with. So I guess I wasn't the only crazy one messing with the sicko. So that was one incident. The one that broke the camel's back, though, the first time we were married was him giving me another STD. I mean, he kept doing it. And I used to say, you are the nastiest person I know. You don't even love yourself. You won't even protect yourself. And that right there, that did it. So I packed up his stuff and I put it all on in garbage bags, and I called his mom and I told her to tell him to get his things because I set them out, and the trash pickup is on Tuesdays. I remember this so well. I said the trash picks up on Tuesdays, and everything that he has that was in our home is in garbage bags. So you should tell him to come and get his things. And his mom was like, I hate to hear that, but okay. So she must have told him. So he comes to the place, bamming on the door, talking about, let me in, B. He always called me the B word. That was just something that I had just gotten used to hearing from him. And I would tell him he's one as well. So like I said, I never just laid down and took. Only thing I took from him was STDs and cheating. Other than that, I didn't take anything else. So anyway, I put him out and I filed for divorce. By then, my son was, okay, I filed for divorce. My daughter was born in 94. I filed for divorce in 95. He didn't sign the papers until 97. And the only reason that he signed them is because he got engaged to somebody else while we were still married. And my son played t-ball, and so he would bring whoever he was dealing with to the t-ball games to watch our son play. And I was cool with it. I really didn't want him because I knew whoever he was with, I knew what they had. So I never been jealous of, excuse me, y'all, I never been jealous of any other woman. So, because they in love with a sicko. So, anyway, the girl told me that they were engaged and showed me the ring. And I was like, congratulations. Maybe now he'll sign our divorce papers. And she was like, he never told her that he was still married. So that's how I got him to sign the divorce papers the first time. So, I mean, when I tell y'all I was not an angel, I was just crazy. I was really crazy because, like I said, I was trying so hard to keep him. I would find numbers and call them back. You know, I used to, this before cell phones, so I wasn't able to look at his phone and see who he called or whatever. But he used to, like, accuse me of messing with all these people. So I used to be like, how do you even fix your face to say something so stupid? I used to call him stupid, stupid, stupid all the time. I could see myself harming him, like unaliving him. And that's when I knew. I prayed so hard one night. I said, Lord, please remove him from my heart. Take the love away. I don't want to love him. He is not the person I'm supposed to be with. And I'm sorry, all of that stuff. So I'm going to end it right here. And this is part 6. Bye, y'all.